Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Los Angeles Lakers Flashback rebuild here on NBA 2K22. This is episode number 20, season 20. Yeah, we've done 19 seasons of this Flashback rebuild, a season per episode, and we have gone 19 years into the future, and we've got some pretty interesting things that have happened. If we take a quick look at the league history from around the NBA, as you can see, the past 3 seasons have been won by us. We're currently on a three-peat right now. But we've also got 2 other championships. We've got 5 in total in 19 seasons. And as you can see, there's a pretty big gap in between the start of our three-peat and our most recent championship before the three-peat. So we've had a pretty extensive history here in this save so far, but it's only going to get better the more we go into it, because the more we go into it, the better players we're going to add to the league, the more craziness is going to happen, and the more championships, hopefully, we can bring home to LA. We've already brought home 5 and 3 in a row, and we've beaten the Miami Heat twice now. Back-to-back years we played Miami. We beat them once in Miami, which was this past season. We won in South Beach, and then the first time we played them, we beat them in LA because they took a game from us. So that's what the history of the NBA is looking like in this series. 19 seasons so far. This is what the roster is looking like. I guess I'll go to the game plan so you can see it that way. We traded Luka Doncic, which is something that I did not think was going to happen in my lifetime, that I would ever trade Luka Doncic, but it was for a good reason. We got the number 1 overall pick, which turned out to be Magic Johnson. Earvin Magic Johnson is now the point guard in, I guess that is true. Or is it? No. The Luka Doncic trade turned out to be Kareem. That's what it is. Because Tracy McGrady turned out to be Magic. So we traded in McGrady for Magic Johnson, and we traded out Luka for Kareem. That's what we did. But we had Luka last season. He won the MVP and the Finals MVP in the same season, and then we traded him that offseason so that Magic Johnson could take over the starting point guard spot. We still have Kobe. We still have LeBron. We brought back Scotty Barnes, who was in Oklahoma City for a season and a half, basically. He was with us a couple of episodes ago, literally the season before we won the title, I think, because he doesn't have any championships. Was he on that first? Ooh, he was on that first championship team that we won. I couldn't remember if he was on that team or not. He was. He was on that first of the three-peat, and now he's been gone for a couple of years. He's now back in LA, probably for only a season, because next year, Giannis was a starter last year, but I think next year he's going to take that jump up above Scotty Barnes, and he'll be the starter. There is one little bit of controversy we have on this team, and that is the fact that we drafted Kareem. He starts out as as an 89, but he's up to a 90, playing up to it. And we have DeAndre Ayton, and DeAndre Ayton's coming off one of his best season, his best season as a LA Laker, as a pro. Averaging 18 points, 14 rebounds, 2 blocks per game. He shot really well from the three-point line. I mean, he had his best season ever, and he dominated in the postseason as well. So the controversy is, my plan was to do the exact same thing that we did with Luka, which was play him that season, then trade him in that offseason, and then for the next year, have the successor come in and take over, which was Magic Johnson, and that's what we did. So I was planning on doing that with DeAndre Ayton, but that season that he had last year kind of made it a little bit more difficult, so I don't know what we're going to do this year. This is meant to be his last year as a Laker, but if he has another good season like he did last episode, it's going to make that even more tough to make the decision on what to do with him. We could still move on from him, and we could get a couple first-round picks probably for DeAndre Ayton, but it's just a matter of what do we do? Do we keep him on the team because he's been playing so well? Or do we let Kareem take over as the starting center? I don't know what to do. I guess we're going to find out. It also matters what the draft class is. That's also a big thing. And I guess speaking of that, we can go and find out what the draft class is that we are going to be fighting for this season. I don't know how many first-round picks we have. I'll have to go check after this spin. But we've got the wheel spin up in front of you. 3, 2, 1, spin that wheel. What is the draft class that we are going to be battling for? Oh, it's an old one. 1962. 1962 is the class that we are going to be getting. Is that Jerry West? This could very well be a bad draft class. Now, I've mentioned in previous videos, I mentioned at the very beginning of this series, that I have literally almost every single draft class ever in the NBA. And that's because I wanted to give a lot of diversity, a lot of difference to this series. I didn't want all the great draft classes, because that's no fun. You want to have some draft classes that have duds, that have a lot of draft busts, that aren't really that great, because that just adds the extra, like, challenge of, do we prioritize draft picks or do we prioritize actual players? Like, it's just adds a little different dynamic to it that I thought would be pretty interesting. So the 1960 draft class, there's literally only one. Not surprising at all. Who's even in this draft class? Is this Jerry West? Dave DeBusschere is the #1 overall prospect. This isn't a right draft class. This is not the right draft class, because we already have Jerry Lucas in the league, and John Havlicek's already in the league. So I'm going to have to look up really quick what the 1962 draft class is, and even if there is something out there. So give me a second. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to look it up. Okay, so I'm back, and I looked up the 1962 draft class, and it turns out that this is right. It had Dave DeBusschere and Jerry Lucas and John Havlicek. Those are these two were the top 2 picks in the draft. So does that mean we got a dud? We got a double for the first time? I thought I deleted it when I always delete the draft class so we don't ever get doubles. After the video's over, I always go in and delete the draft class that we used for the episode so that we don't have this situation. But it looks like I must have missed one. So I will go and quickly exit out of this, and I will go and delete the 1962 draft class since we've already gotten it, and we'll just spin again. We will just spin again. All right, the 1962 draft class has been deleted. I must have just not done it, or I don't know, maybe I put it in twice. I didn't even realize. I don't know. But we got it back. We're going to spin again, re-roll. This is the first time this has ever happened. This is new territory. And we're going to be going even older. 1956. The 1956 draft class is now the one. I thought we were going to be getting the most recent one, the 2022 class. That would have been pretty crazy. So let's go and see if we can get the 1956 draft class. Wait, it was 56, right? Let me check really quick. Was it 56? It was 56. All right, so let's just go and download the 1956 draft class. I'm going to quickly pull it up on my phone so I can have it ready just in case we need to check the 1956 draft class. All right. Oh, I just saw who this class is going to have. So we definitely don't have this one yet. 1956. There's 148 downloads on this one. Might as well go for the one with the most downloads. This one has Elgin Baylor, Bill Russell. Oh, man. We got to get Elgin Baylor. He simulates so well in NBA 2K. Elgin Baylor does really well in this game. So does Bill Russell. He always wins Defensive Player of the Years. He always wins. He wins MVPs a lot. Both of those guys are really, really good simulated players in 2K. So we got to go for one of those two guys. I'm just trying to see the rest of this class. Wait, is this the Elgin Baylor class? I don't see him on this. I don't see him on this list unless I just missed him. I also don't see a couple of guys on this list. Where is everybody else? It looks like these guys are all made up. So let me load that other version of the 1956 draft class, and we'll see if that one is a little bit better, because the class that I'm looking at on Basketball Reference has a lot of known players. It has Jim Paxson, and it has Tom Hennessy, Casey Jones. So I mean, there's some known guys that we want to get in this league that weren't in that class. So 1956, there's only one other one on there. Here it is. Let's try it out. This one has a bunch of garbage man. That's not a good sign. So this literally just has Casey Jones and Bill Russell and Tom Hennison, and then a bunch of garbage man players. That's not good. So what are we going to do here? The other class didn't have those. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to load that draft class. Then I'm going to go into some of those lower rated players, and I'll just download. Hopefully there's some created players like a Casey Jones. Somebody's made a Casey Jones, or I can find a Casey Jones. Hopefully I can do that. I'm going to try that. Otherwise, we're going to have to spin again, and I'll just have to add Bill Russell to the draft class. 1956. Was Elgin Baylor even in this class? I don't see him on the basketball reference thing. I guess I'll have to Google Elgin Baylor and see if he's even in here. So we bring back up the class, and it has just these two, Bill Russell and Elgin Baylor. Let me Google Elgin Baylor and see when he got drafted. Elgin Baylor. All right. So he was drafted, if Google loads. Okay. He was drafted in, let me go to Wikipedia, because Wikipedia never lies. He was drafted in 1958. So not 1956. So why is he in this draft class? Elgin Baylor should not be in this draft class. He should be in the 1958 draft class. Although it's... Wait, this is confusing me. These old draft classes are so hard to try and figure out. Let me go to the 1958 draft class on Basketball Reference. Yeah, Elgin Baylor is in there as the second pick in the 1958 draft class. But he's also listed as an all-star in the 1956. Like, you know how they pull up, like, who was the most successful in this class? Did Elgin Baylor get drafted in this class and then go back to college? That's a good possibility. I don't see him on... Oh, he did get drafted in round 90. Or is that round 9? No, not round 90. I'm an idiot. It's round 14. He got drafted in round 14. Pick 91 is what I was looking at. Okay. So he got picked in the very last round of the draft in 1956. He must have went back to college. I guess I could have found that on his Wikipedia. Let me look him up again. Is it say what he did in his... Okay, so here it is. He had a trademark jump shot. The number one pick in the 1958 draft class. So it says he got drafted in 1958. Wow, this is confusing. Professional career. Rookie year was 1958. So he was the number one pick in 1958 to select Baylor, then convinced him to skip his senior year at Seattle and instead join the pro ranks. Okay, so he did get drafted in 1958 because it doesn't have anything about 1960 or 1956. I don't know why he... I don't know why he would have 1956 on there. It doesn't have anything... It doesn't have anything to do with 1956. I'm not seeing anything about 1956. He was a freshman, or not a freshman, but he was in Seattle at Seattle University in 1956. So this has been a whole little wormhole that I've fallen down. Elgin Baylor is going to be in the 1958 draft class. You know what? I'm going to do all this off camera so that I'm not holding you guys up, because this is a lot of stuff that I got to do. And if we come back and I spin the wheel again, that might be the option. But I'm gonna try and sort everything out and get everything right, and I'll bring you guys back. All right, so I figured it out, and I got the 1956 draft class as good as I could get it. There's not a whole lot of... I put the most important people in. I took out Elgin Baylor. There's no Elgin Baylor in this class. He'll be in the 1958 draft class. But I did add Tom Hennison, or Heinsohn, however you say his name. He's here. Bill Russell's still here. We've got Casey Jones, and we've got Jim Paxson. These are the top guys that were in this class, are the most known people in this 1956 draft class. That's all we're going to have. The rest are going to be just created guys to fill out the class. Who knows if they'll turn into anything? Maybe they will. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do. But this is the best that I could do with the 90s. When you get to these such old classes, it's so hard to find accurate players from this era. So I mean, the top 4 guys are here. Well, not Casey Jones is a second round pick, but the top guys were here because these guys are the most known guys from this class. I looked through the rest of the draft and I did not recognize any other names. Maybe that's on me for not knowing my older NBA history. If you guys feel like I should have added somebody else, then let me know. But these are the most known guys that I could pick out from the 1956 class, and these are the guys that are going to be in the class. So we don't need to really worry about draft picks, I don't think. We have 3 for this year: the Hornets, the Knicks, and the Rockets. Bill Russell is probably the only guy that I would want, and I don't even know if we want Bill Russell because we have a very logged position at center with DeAndre Ayton and Kareem. So I don't even think we need Bill Russell. I feel like that would just be a waste. I feel like it would just be hurting Bill Russell's career if we drafted him because we just don't have the space. Now, what we could do is trade DeAndre Ayton and then have Kareem and Bill Russell, but that I don't think that's a good idea. So I think we will pass on the draft this season, especially only because it's only 4 guys too. So I think we'll pass on the draft for this year. And we will just look to trade those picks for future picks. That's always a possibility. So, with all that being done, I know this took a long time to get to just simulating, but that whole draft, I wanted to make sure that draft class was as good as I could get it, and that's, I think, as good as I could get it. So, I hope you guys understand that, yeah, it's not a full draft class, but once you get into those older classes, it's so hard to find real guys that people have made, and you can't. It's not like you can take them from their time in the NBA on their all-time teams, because those rosters aren't in this save file, if you know what I mean. So you have to rely on people that have made the character or have at least uploaded that player to the NBA online, and a lot of people haven't done that for these older classes. It's a whole big thing. So I did what I could do. Hope you guys understand, but it's time to simulate to the All-Star draft and find out who's going to be an All-Star captain, maybe, probably not, but an All-Star at least for this 20th season. Hope you guys do go on to enjoy the video. If you do, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and join the Juice Club. Let's get simulating. We're at the All-Star draft now, and we are first in the conference, as you would expect, with a record of 48-7. I don't know if Steph Curry's still on the Mavericks in this roster, in this save. At this point, he's been on the Mavericks for a while. I would assume that he is. They're only 4.5 games back. They're fighting us pretty good. If we take a look at our stats through the first part of the season, Kobe, even though he was injured for a couple of weeks, still killing the game with 19.5 points per game, 7 assists, dominating. LeBron's doing really well, averaging about what he does for his career. 16 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. DeAndre Ayton have another good season. I'm telling you, DeAndre Ayton's starting to become that dominant center that we were looking for originally. Remember back in the old days, 16 seasons ago, 15 seasons ago, when we were looking for a center desperately? I think we finally found it all these years later, and he's finally starting to turn it on. It's just bad because we'd have this guy right here, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who is also one of the best centers. So he's playing really well in his rookie season. Anthony Edwards, who is our good luck charm. We've won 3 straight titles, and he's been here for 3 straight seasons. So we started winning titles once we drafted him, and he's playing really good again. Giannis and Scotty are pretty much playing about the same. Giannis has got better production, which is what I would expect, but Giannis is shooting threes for some reason. I don't know why he's shooting threes. That's weird. Maybe his 3-point rating in this series is going to go up. I don't know. Magic Johnson in his second season, first time as the starter. Not averaging a double-double, but he's doing okay. Then you got Chris Paul coming off the bench. He was injured for a little bit of the season, so was Josh Primo. Reggie Bullock averaging more points. Oh, no, he's not. Okay, I thought he was averaging more points than what he was last season, but he is falling off a little bit. And Hashim Thabit really not here to do much. I just brought him in to kind of be a backup center, just like a role-playing center, and that's what he's doing. So that's what our team is looking like. The league leaders, Luka Doncic is taking over. I figured it would be his time, and look, he's going to win Most Improved probably. It's kind of an artificial Most Improved because he would have been averaging these numbers on our team if we didn't have so many other good players around him that get buckets, but he's probably going to win MVP and Most Improved, which is going to be really weird. Larry Bird's still here. Trae Young's starting to average more points. Oh, he really turned it on his first year in San Antonio. Tracy McGrady Oh, that's why they're doing so well, because McGrady is also with Curry in Dallas. That's why they're starting to heat up a little bit. Is Curry still there? If I can find, and they have Shea. So who's playing? Where's Curry playing at? Oh, that's right. Curry went to Golden State. I forgot about that. I knew that he was either in Dallas or he went to Golden State, and he did go to Golden State. I forgot that he moved there in the offseason. So they replaced him with Shea, and Shea's doing really well. Plus, they also have Trace McGrady, who we traded them a couple seasons ago. We met them in the playoffs back when they had Curry and McGrady, and we won. I think that was last season. But Luka Doncic, in his first season by himself, proven why he is one of the best. All right, that's what we're looking like here. He's probably an all-star captain. He is. Team Luka and Team Larry. What a weird captaincy. But Team Larry Bird drafts Kevin Durant, Steve Nash, McGrady, and Jaren Jackson Jr., along with Curry, Abdur-Rahim, Conley, Barkley, Evan Mobley, Trae Young, and Dave Cowens. And then Team Luka drafts Marbury, Anthony, Olajuwon, and Duncan. And then Jalen Green, Allen Iverson, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Dave DeBusschere, and Spencer Hayward. That's really weird. I didn't say Kobe at all, and Kobe's our leading scorer. Maybe because he was hurt, he's not going to be an all-star? I don't know. That's really confusing. But hey, we get one all-star. I'll take it. LeBron off the bench. That's big dubs for me. Now, I don't know as far as contract extensions. Do we have anybody? We have LeBron and we have Kobe. Wow, that's a lot of money that we're going to have to spend on both of these guys. But they both have 2 years left on their contract. They are up for negotiations, though. We are going to have to bring back Anthony Edwards as well. And maybe Ricky Rubio if I'm feeling crazy. Ooh, we got to re-sign LeBron. Remember, I turned off the salary cap in the last episode, so that's why the numbers are crazy over on the cap room. It's just getting too... I mean, look at these expected contracts for these three guys. There's no way salary cap would work. So, LeBron James... I mean, we kept salary cap for 19 years. That's pretty good. LeBron James... re-signed for 3 years. He's accepted the contract. Kobe re-signed for 3 more seasons, so he's back as well. That adds to their contracts. They both got now max extensions, 5 years for both of them, and that just makes it easier for us to decide what to do with them in the future instead of having to worry about signing them in a couple of seasons. DeAndre Ayton's got 3 years on his deal. Kareem's on his rookie contract. Anthony Edwards also on his rookie contract, but we need to re-sign him in the offseason. And that's going to do it for this little wrap-up portion or kind of filler portion. Now we get back to simulating, and I'll get you guys back at the awards. Season 20 is wraps, and Tracy McGrady takes home the MVP. So we gave him to Dallas. He averaged 23 last season, and then this year is his MVP. Or congratulations to Tracy. I'm happy that he got what he deserved. He has a championship. He was on here for the first of our... actually, he's got 2 championships, 2038 and 2039. I didn't realize that... that's duh. Of course he was on both of these teams. And then we traded him this year when we won our 3rd one. So he's been on Dallas for 2 years. He's got 2 rings. He's got an MVP. Congratulations to him. I'm happy to see him thriving in his new team. JoJo White wins Rookie of the Year, averages some good numbers. Jeff Petrie wins the 6th Man of the Year on the Bulls. Timmy D wins another Defensive Player of the Year. He's becoming a dominant player. And Rudy Tomjanovich wins the most improved. But I think I'm going to override this. Luka Doncic firmly deserves to win the most improved player. I mean, look at those splits. He was injured. That's probably why he didn't win MVP. But he averaged 32 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists with a steal and a block, basically. He deserves to be most improved player with what he was going through in LA. I think it's much deserved. And we tie the 72-10 Bulls record. We have yet to beat the record. I think we've gotten this twice now, or at least gotten close to it. But we do get 72-10. Give me that Executive of the Year award. No, how did Jordan Hobson get Executive of the Year? Did he coach or did he oversee a 72-win basketball team? I don't think so. Only 61. So we get snubbed again for Executive of the Year. We've been snubbed so many times for that award. All-NBA First Team, Tracy McGrady, Luka, Larry Bird, Tim Duncan, and James Wiseman. Second Team is Marbury, Gilgeous-Alexander, Jaren Jackson Jr., Kevin Durant, and Olajuwon. Third Team is Michael Jordan, Trae Young, Rick Barry, Spencer Haywood, and Evan Mobley. And then Defensive Team is Iverson, Jordan, Duncan, Jackson Jr., and Olajuwon. Cheeks, Billups, Bird, Bosh, and Evan Mobley. All Rookie Team is what you would expect it to be, all the good guys. And then there's Kareem averaging about 13 points and 6 rebounds. If he becomes a starter, he'll certainly average a lot more than what he did. But we can take a look at the final stats. So Kobe ended up averaging 19 points and 7 assists. DeAndre Ayton overtook LeBron James. See, this is why I'm so conflicted on what to do. I mean, another solid season from DeAndre Ayton. He even bumped up his three-point percentage by a lot. What do we do with the center logjam? I don't really know what we can do here. I'm very conflicted, very confused. LeBron James did not do very well. I think he got hurt a little bit during the season, but still not enough. I mean, he wasn't even the top scorer in the league. He was like 3 points behind Kobe halfway through. So LeBron not really doing that much. Maybe if we moved on from LeBron, put Giannis at the 3, then have Kareem play the center, DeAndre Ayton play the 4. Maybe that's what we do. Instead of trading Ayton, maybe we trade LeBron. That could be a crazy thing to say. I'd like to see LeBron average a lot more points just like Luka does. That could be a possibility. I don't know. I guess we'll find out as we get to the offseason. I mean, we did re-sign him, so whoever we would trade him to would have him under control for 4 seasons or 5 seasons. So that's what our team is looking like. The rest of the league leaders, the scoring title goes to Luka. Congratulations to him. Then you got Larry Bird and McGrady. Larry Bird's been snubbed on MVP for his entire career. I don't think he has a single one. He doesn't. No MVPs for Larry Bird. He probably should, but he doesn't have any. He's got some scoring titles, but no MVPs. Then McGrady, Marbury, Trae Young, Carmelo's starting to average some big points. See, that's what I think LeBron could do. LaMelo's been on his own for a while. He was in Houston for a while, although he was with Allen Iverson, so maybe that's why. He still averaged a lot of good points, and then he's finally in Detroit. I don't know who he's playing with, but he's in Detroit. Jordan, he's been on Boston for a while, which is just weird to say. But Michael Jordan averaging some good points. He hasn't really become anything. He hasn't become the Michael Jordan of real life. He's got 13 All-Stars, some All-NBA first teams, some defensive teams. He was all rookie, but he doesn't really have any individual awards that are impressive. Like no championships, no MVPs, no Defensive Player of the Years, nothing like that. He's an All-NBA player, but not an all-timer like he is in real life. Colin Sexton, look at the man. Colin Sexton, 88 overall, averaging 21 on Philadelphia. Good for him. But now it's time to simulate the play-in. Are we playing the Warriors? We're not. We're playing the Memphis Grizzlies. Who's on this Grizzlies team? DeAndre Ayton's back from his injury. LaMelo Ball, Pete Maravich, John Brisker, Bob Love, and Adonal Foyle. Okay. Very interesting team. We are certainly better than this team, but it's a very interesting team. Let's see if we can get through in 4 games. We take game 1, 2. Kareem is injured, but he's day-to-day. He's back. 3. And they take 4, but we take 5. All right, we get out of there pretty quickly in 5 games. DeAndre Ayton's just a monster. I don't know what to say about him. Dallas does move on to the second round along with Oklahoma City. There's Rick Barry down there in Brooklyn on the other side. Going up against the Spurs, I didn't even check and see who the Spurs have. We took game 1, by the way. They have Trae Young, Keon Johnson, Sean Elliott, Spencer Haywood, and Mark Gasol. So this is Trae Young's first time being like the best player on a team, I think, because he was with somebody else for a little bit. Who was he with? Trae Young was with somebody, I'm pretty sure. He was in Phoenix for a season, and he was by himself in Cleveland. But then, that's right. It was the weird thing that happened because Cleveland didn't re-sign him after his rookie deal was up. Phoenix got him on a minimum for a season, and then he went in free agency and signed a big deal with the Spurs. It was so weird. I couldn't believe it, but he made it to the playoffs, and he got to the second round. Hopefully that's where he ends because we take game 2. We don't take game 3. We take game 4, and we got game 5. So we've gone 5 games with both, and Tracy McGrady and Shea fall to the Thunder, who have Van Arsdale and Tom Janovich with Archibald, Havlicek, Robert Williams, Nerlens Noel, Landry Shamet. Wow, what an upset from Tracy McGrady, or from these boys in Oklahoma City. McGrady, the MVP, put up 31 and 14, but it was not enough. And we are going up against those boys in Oklahoma. Nate Archibald, Van Arsdale, Tom Janovich, Jared Vanderbilt, and Robert Williams. Can we take them out? I don't know who we played last year in the conference finals. I don't think it was Oklahoma City, but it looks like we're going to get out of there with a sweep. And who are we playing against? No, we won't play the Heat for the 3rd straight year. We will play the Brooklyn Nets, who, if I'm not mistaken, were the team that gave us our first of the three-peat. Yes, it was. They took us to 6 games, but LeBron James won his first Finals MVP with us, and that started the three-peat. And then it was Miami Heat for 2 seasons, and now it's back to Brooklyn. I really thought it was going to be Miami, but Rick Barry must have dominated this game. Oh, it was Chris Bosh. 34-21 for Bosh. And this is what the finals is looking like. Anthony Simons, Rolando Simpson, Rick Barry, Chris Bosh, and Billy Pultz. Let's see what we can do. Game 1 is a Laker victory. Can we go 4 for 4 in the NBA Finals? 2-1 series lead. I want to check and see. Bosh put up 53 in this game. Jeez, Chris Bosh, calm down. I want to see, how many titles does Rick Barry have? He has 2 titles back in the mid-2035, or the 2030s. He won 2 titles. He's got 5 MVPs, though, so that's pretty cool. Good for Rick Barry. But he's been more of an MVP kind of guy than a championship guy. Let's see if we can keep that the same. I can't believe Bosh put up 53 in that game. It's a 3-1 series lead for the Los Angeles Lakers. Can we do the four-peat, the elusive four-peat? Not been done since the Celtics, I'm pretty sure, in the 60s. And we are blowing them out of the water. Look at the domination this Lakers team has put together here. 13 seconds, we are going to jump in to see a four-peat, ladies and gentlemen. Anthony Edwards has been in the league for 4 seasons. And he's got 4 NBA titles. Can you believe that? Kobe for 3. Green Bean. The Mamba with 37. Oh, man, these boys are coming to play. It's going to end 133-78. And we win in the Staples Center. And that's 4 in a row. 4 championships in a row. LeBron and Kobe embracing each other, so happy. And for the second time in 4 years, we celebrate on our court. We won in Brooklyn 1 year, and we won in South Beach 1 year. And then the other 2 years, we've won in LA. And there's LeBron on the announcer's desk, talking to the crowd, celebrating with the crowd. Scotty Barnes has got another title. Chris Paul gets a championship. I know he had one in Detroit. He beat us, actually, in the finals in Detroit because he had Bob Boozer on his team, I think. So he's got at least one. Reggie Bullock's got another title. Rubio is along for the ride. And that's a four-peat for the boys. This is the kind of dominance that I was expecting 10 years ago. But we just didn't have the roster put together. We finally put together a roster that is good enough to win a championship. Magic Johnson's been in the league for 2 seasons. He's got 2 titles. Like I said, Anthony Edwards has been along for the ride for the entire four-peat. And we get to hold up another Larry O'Brien trophy. This coach, whoever this is, Alexander Panel, I think is his name, he's going to go down in history as the greatest head coach of all time. I mean, yeah, you could probably consider him not really that important. It's Kobe with the MVP. You could probably consider him not that important because he has a bunch of Hall of Fame talent on his roster, and he's just kind of like saying, you guys do what you want to do. But, hey, he's the coach, so he gets credit. Kobe in Game 5 put up 37, 3, and 3. LeBron had 22, 10, and 8. Giannis finally showed up, 18 and 5. I remember last season he didn't really do much. DeAndre Ayton had 15 and 11. Kareem had 11 and 11. Johnson had 10, 9, and 12. Almost a triple-double in the finals. 10, 8, and 8 from Scotty. 5 and 5 from Anthony Edwards. And we get out of there with a four-peat, ladies and gentlemen. And we deny good old Rick Barry another championship. I kind of feel bad for him at this point. He's been such a Hall of Fame player. I want to check quickly. How many titles does Chris Paul have? Is this number 2 for him or number 3 maybe? Number 3. So he got one in Memphis when we first started. That's right. Because he had that thing where he went to like 3 straight NBA finals, but only won one of them on the Memphis Grizzlies. And then he went to Detroit in 2034 or around that era and won one with Bob Boozer against us. And now he's got one in LA. So Chris Paul has 3 NBA titles, 4 MVPs. He's one of the all-time greats of this series. Good job for Chris Paul. I mean, look at these numbers that he was putting up in the early days of the series. He had 31, 36, 36 again. I mean, Chris Paul in Memphis was an absolute demon. And he even put up some good numbers in Detroit for a couple seasons, almost averaged 33 straight years. But now he's kind of dropped off in this season. He's been reduced to a bench player, but he's 39 years old, so that's to be expected. But we win 4 straight times. I would have liked to go 3 in a row with the Heat, but the Nets, they took him to 7, and the Nets beat him. And Chris Paul has retired. Can we get some cheers, some applause in the chat? Because Chris Paul has officially retired after 39 years of age, 18 years in the league. We took a look at his accolades just before we went to this because I didn't think he was going to retire, but he does. He's got 4 total MVPs. Chris Paul was probably the best player of the series for a decade. I mean, we had Wilt Chamberlain, obviously, who was winning Defensive Player of the Years and never won a title, but he was one of the best players. But Chris Paul, probably the best player for the first decade of the series. 3 titles, 14 All-Star appearances, 11 All-NBA first teams, a lot of other awards we can't see. Congratulations to Chris Paul, 3 championships, and he retires as a champion. Greg Oden didn't really do much, 16 years in the league, but he did actually have a pretty decent career, I'm pretty sure. He was putting up some decent numbers. Boston, a couple of years ago, he had 24. Actually, that's probably that can't be right. That's probably a glitch because he didn't average 10 at any point in his career. So he's kind of, I guess you consider him a bust again, but I mean, hey, he didn't get injured, so he's not an injury bust. But he was the number 2 pick in the draft, and this is kind of pathetic for the number 2 pick in the draft. But hey, that's what happens. He made the All-Star team 1 time. Mookie Blaylock also retires, didn't do a single thing in terms of awards, but he will retire with an average of 6.2 points per game in his career. Not a Hall of Famer. Chris Paul's the only Hall of Famer here, I would guess. Drew Holiday, did he get anything in terms of awards? He's got just nothing really. Al Horford, 4-time All-Star. Ricky Rubio does end up a champion. He was on that team that just won. DeMar DeRozan, 1-time All-Star, retires after 13 seasons in the league. Oh, wow. Herbert Jones is gone as well. It's pretty sad to see some of these guys leave. These are some of the guys that were original players in this series. Like Chris Paul, to see him retire after 18 years, it's pretty sad. He's been in the league for a long time, and he's gone. Hall of Famer. I don't want to deny him that. He's certainly a Hall of Fame player. Hall of Fame inductees, just Chris Paul. Certainly his jersey will be retired by the Grizzlies, I would guess. Maybe the Pistons. He played 1,401 games, averaged 26 points for his career. Fantastic Hall of Fame career. And he does get it by the Pistons. He was there from 2033 to 2040, won him a title. Well, was a part of a title team, number 6, and then gets his number 3 retired by the Grizzlies. I told you, he was there for a long time, and he was probably the best player of the decade. I'd have to say that. League meetings, we will reject this and keep everything else rejected so nothing changes. And now it's time for the draft lottery, and we got to trade our picks. Oh, we actually have the Knicks and the Houston Rockets have given us a chance at the number 1 overall pick. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. If we get the number 1 overall pick, maybe we draft Bill Russell, but I'm not going to trade up to get, like we have been in almost every other episode. I'm not going to force my hand and trade up in the draft. That's just not what I'm going to do, not for this draft class. I mean, Bill Russell is a legendary franchise-altering talent, but I'll let somebody else have him. Unless, of course, we get the number 1 overall pick. That's always the caveat. If we end up getting the number 1 overall pick, maybe I'll change my mind. The Suns move into the top 10, or the Suns fall to the top 10. The Kings get the pick at number 9. Here's us with our first of 2 picks, and we move into the top 4. So maybe we will get the number 1 overall pick. The Rockets give us the top 4 pick. This is the Suns pick, or this is the Knicks pick. So we are going into number 7. We also have a top 4 pick, though. The Celtics stay at 6. Then you got the Blazers, and they move up. Ooh, impending free agent Kevin Durant. That's interesting. The Bucks get the 5th pick. The Blazers will move up even more. The Lakers get the 4th pick. So we have 4 and 7 in the NBA draft. I don't think Bill Russell will fall to 4, so we'll just trade that pick anyway. That's what I was going to do in the first place, but now it's pretty much confirmed. And the Blazers have jumped up to the number 1 overall pick. Congratulations to the Portland Trail Blazers. That's pretty impressive, them jumping up to the number 1 overall pick like that. We have number 4, number 7, and number 24. Okay. Number 4, number 7, and number 24. We've got to trade those because I don't envision Bill Russell falling to us at 4. So let's go to the trade finder. What can I get for LeBron? Nothing. I figure. What is DeAndre Ayton even available? No. DeAndre Ayton doesn't even have anything offered. So we're going to have to make our own trade if we do trade LeBron, which is just weird to say. I mean, LeBron's been here for all the titles. He's been Finals MVP. But is there a player? Is there a player? I mean, Michael Jordan obviously is a player that I've wanted to have, but he just doesn't fit our team. Plus, he's 34 at this point. Larry Bird is also a player that I've been wanting to get. I have thought about trying to get Larry Bird. Who else is a possibility? I mean, Tim Duncan obviously was a player that I wanted when he was in the draft, but he was picked right before us. Rick Barry would be interesting. We could try and get him some more championships, bring him to the squad. I want to get if we're going to trade LeBron, I'd rather trade him for another player that I could fill in. I mean, getting like Dwayne Wade, or actually Dwayne Wade's in free agency. Getting Allen Iverson would be cool. I don't know what to do. We could try and bring back Steph Curry back to the Lakers, but he's also a free agent. His contract is expired, so that's pretty intriguing. It's probably either Larry Bird or Rick Barry are the guys that I would trade LeBron for. Do we trade for Larry Bird and team him up with Magic Johnson? That might just be a little bit disrespectful. Larry Bird's on a 2-year contract. What's Rick Barry on? He's on a 1-1. So he has a player option. He could decline it, I guess, and go to free agency. This is weird. This feels weird. Trading LeBron for Larry Bird. Is that a good idea? Is it a good idea to trade LeBron James? Maybe we trade Scotty Barnes. They think they're a championship contender. Well, what about if I give you pick 7 as well? And I give you pick 24. They don't like that either. What about if I give you a pick 4? Pick 4's got a lot of value. Scotty and pick 4 doesn't get it done. What about Scotty, pick 4, and pick 24 or 27, whatever it was, and pick 7? Doesn't even get it done. It would probably have to be LeBron if we were going to trade for Larry Bird. What's the value on Rick Barry? I don't really want to trade for Rick Barry because of that contract, but what's the value on him? He's got full 5-star value as well. That Houston pick is very valuable. Man, I don't really know what to do. Do we trade LeBron? Is that just like crazy to think about? Am I like insane to even think of trading LeBron? It feels like it. So it feels like to me that I'm pretty crazy for even considering trading LeBron James. Abdur-Rahim's been an all-star almost every single year he's been in the league. And Bosch did just put up freaking 53 against us in the finals, one game, so. James Harden I would like to have, but he's pretty old. I don't really want him at this point. He would have been cool to have. Barkley's old now at this point. Some of these guys are going to retire. That's going to be weird to think about. Chris Webber's probably going to retire. He had some dominant years. We'll go over that when he actually does retire. He had some pretty crazy years. Allen Iverson for Scotty. They're asking too much, or we're asking for too much. I mean, I could switch pick 7 out. Is this a good idea? Scotty Barnes in the 7th overall pick for Allen Iverson. Doesn't even get it done. What about a couple seconds? Does that push it through? Probably not. And pick 24. No, Allen Iverson's very valuable, and Scotty Barnes only has 3-star value. I really think that it's weird to trade Larry Bird or trade LeBron for Larry Bird. Ugh, I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. I'm so conflicted. I mean, LeBron's only 28. What's Larry at? Let me just remove him and pick him up again. Larry Bird is at 29. Oh, Larry Bird for LeBron James. It's just a weird thing to do. I would love to see LeBron go over or go to another team and thrive. Do we keep LeBron for his entire career? We've had LeBron his entire career. We drafted him. We've groomed him. He's won us he's been a part of 4 straight titles. And he was no, he wasn't. I was going to say he was a part of the other one, but I don't think he was. Was he? He might have been a part of that other one. How many titles does he have? Does he have 5 or does he have 4? He has 4 NBA titles. The 4 that we just won in a row. He's got 4 championships. Maybe we do him a solid here, just like we did Luka, and let him go control his own team and do his own thing. Maybe he can increase his legacy even more. And then maybe we bring him back as an old-timer. Would this go through straight up? They think they're a championship contender. Even with LeBron James, they think they're a championship contender. Oh, this just feels so weird. I don't even know at this point. It just feels like I feel icky. I feel gross even thinking about trading LeBron James. Especially for a guy like, or not especially, but just for a guy like Larry Bird, just feels icky. I don't know what I want to do with that. Trade Finder. What can we get for the 4th overall pick, though? I definitely want to trade that. We can get Peja for pick 4 and 24. Peja's been dominant. He won a scoring title a couple of years. Pete Maravich. We can get pick 3 and Gerald Henderson. We can get a 1st-round pick next year in Javon Carter, which I am intrigued by. That might be what I do. We could just trade Javon Carter if we have to, which is probably what I would do. We could get Tiny Archibald. We just went against this team in the Western Conference Finals. So it's pretty much either Peja or this pick right here, or this thing right here with the Knicks. I think that's what we're going to do. Let's trade it to the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks deserve a pick. They had pick 7, so we took it from them. So let's trade them the pick. We get a pick next year. They have number 4 in the draft now. I'm going to throw pick 7. Actually, I'm going to throw pick 24 because I think pick 7 could get us something. And I'm going to throw Javon Carter along with it. And we're going to see what we can do here. We can get 2 protected picks, which I don't want. I'm going to stay away from those. But the Miami Heat, they've been in the finals, so those picks are probably not that great. But we could get the Dallas Mavericks, who have 2 of the same year, 43 picks. But the Pelicans, I'm intrigued by the Pelicans offer. And so the Spurs. Let's do the Spurs pick. I'm intrigued by that. San Antonio unprotected 1st-round picks from next year and from a couple of years from now. And then we can trade pick 7 as well. And what can we get for pick 7? We can get some more draft picks from the Clippers. Or we can get a player and a draft pick. Maybe we trade this pick for a player and a draft pick. Maybe John Havlicek in a 2nd rounder. Kai Jones in a 1st. Because we do need to add some depth. But I do like this trade from the Clippers. That's a pretty good trade from the Clippers. That's probably better than anything we can get. So let's just trade it to the Clippers. Congratulations, LA. You can have that pick. And now look at the value of picks that we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1st-round picks next year. It better be a good class next year. We're going to be going through the same thing again. And then we have 3 1st-round picks in 2043. And then we go down to just 1 for the next couple of years. But we got a lot of picks for next year and the year after. We're ready to load up. I guess we'll go to the draft and see when Bill Russell gets drafted. The Blazers got the 1st pick, and they take Bill Russell. I expect him to be Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year, probably. Tom Henson, however you say his name, he goes number 2 to the Jazz. The Atlanta Hawks take Casey Jones with the 3rd pick, and I would expect the Knicks to take... Oh, they trade the pick to the Thunder for John Havlicek and John Warren, and now the Thunder on the clock, and they take Gerald Morris from UCLA. Very interesting. Evan Reeves goes to the Bucks, so the 4th guy is falling. Who's the 4th guy in the draft? It's Jim Paxson. Jim Paxson is falling in the draft Will the Clippers get Jim Paxson? They will. The Clippers get Jim Paxson. What a wild draft that was. What's Bill Russell going to end up being? Oh, my God. Bill Russell comes into the league as a 98 overall rookie. I would guess MVPs are in his future. Defensive Player of the Years are in his future. Rookie of the Year is definitely in his future. Casey Jones ends up being an 85. Henson is an 82. And Paxson is an 80. Gerald Morse is 78. Bill Russell's going to be a problem. He is going to be a problem. We don't have any rookies to sign because we didn't have a pick. Player options, we're going to offer this to... You know what? I'm going to offer it to Reggie Bullock, too. I like Reggie Bullock. He's been playing really well for us in his limited time that he's had. He didn't have a really good year this year, but he lost a lot of minutes. And then, obviously, we're going to offer it to Giannis and Magic. They accept their player options. So, we have Durant declining his player option, Curry declining his, Duncan declines his, McGrady declines his, and Bob Love declined his. Do we have a situation with... It doesn't look like we have a situation with Rick Barry, so he stays with the Nets. But this free agency is interesting. I'm going to offer it to both Anthony Edwards and Keita Bates-Diop, because I like Keita Bates-Diop. So what is the situation with Rick Barry, then? If we go to the Nets, Rick Barry is on a one-year deal, so he must have just had that deal... Oh, he had a player ETO. That's what it was. It wasn't a player option. It was a player ETO is what it was. So Rick Barry stays with the Nets for another season. But this is the class. Three former Los Angeles Lakers are here. Kevin Durant. He went to Milwaukee for a couple of years. Won an MVP. Was in Portland for a few years. Won an MVP. Was in LA for a few years. Won an MVP here as well. He should have 3. I think he won one in each place he was at. Yeah, he does. He's got 2 NBA titles. What is his best offer? The Spurs. What's Curry's best offer? Back to the Warriors. Okay. Tim Duncan, I wanted to bring him in, and the Wizards are his best offer. McGrady, we just let him go. He could be going to the Timberwolves. I mean, the Mavericks have offered him a max extension, but he likes the Timberwolves offer. And Dwayne Wade, just a one-year deal for the Jazz. Very interesting there. LaMelo Ball makes it to free agency. James Wiseman has made it to free agency. He's been an all-NBA player, James Wiseman has. And he looks like he's going to go back to the Suns, or back to the Hawks on a Supermax. Very interesting. Can we even offer this contract to Kevin Durant? We can. Uh-oh. I don't know if I wanted that to happen. Are we his top offer? Okay, good. He might not accept her. I just wanted to see if we could offer it. But I don't really want him I don't want to sign Kevin Durant. Let's see. Is there anybody that let me take a look at the roster. Is there anybody that we need? This might be just an off year where we just bring back everybody. We bring back Anthony Edwards, everybody that was on bird rights, and then we just run it back again. I think that might be the best option. I mean, we could obviously try to bring somebody in. And also Anthony Edwards is restricted, so that's good. But what are the bird rights players? It's just Anthony Edwards. It's just the only bird rights player that we have. I mean, bringing Dwayne Wade off the bench would be pretty cool. I'll offer Dwayne Wade a contract. But other than that, I don't think I really want anybody else. I mean, there's some cool guys here. There's some cool players in free agency. Let's move on. So, Wade agrees so far to the contract. I figured I didn't want Kevin Durant anyway. I figured he would accept the contract somewhere else. Anthony Edwards is expected to, or prepared to accept an offer from the Blazers. We will obviously match that. And then we move to getting Dwayne Wade. All right, we sign Dwayne Wade to the roster. He will back up Kobe and Anthony Edwards. I just brought in Wade because I love Dwayne Wade. So we've got Magic. We need to bring in a backup point guard. Actually, I could probably move either Anthony Edwards or Dwayne Wade to point guard. That wouldn't be that bad of an idea. Or Josh Primo, I guess, too. We got LeBron. We got Scotty. So how many players do we have on the roster? I thought it was going to tell me there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we need about 2 other players. We need a point guard. And we need probably another wing player. Actually, we have Reggie Bullock, but he has not accepted his contract yet. And Keita, we renounced Keita's rights. Is Reggie Bullock here? I don't know where he went. He just disappeared, or is he on the team? I don't even know. But point guard, Tim Hardaway, Killian Hayes, Davion Mitchell, Derek Fisher, Cole Anthony, Mo Williams. We had Mo Williams for a season, didn't we? Oh, no, we didn't have him for a season. We had him for basically like 20 seconds before I traded him away. I didn't really want him in the first place. A backup point guard offer. That's not the contract that I wanted to offer. Derek Fisher. Just a 2-year deal is good with me. And then not an affordable. Let's go to small forwards. Patrick Williams, Devin Vassell, Isaac Okoro, Jamal Mashburn, Sadiq Bey, Denny Avdia, Josh Green, Corey Brewer. There's some cool players here. Nobody that I absolutely have to have on the roster. And plus, they're just backups at this point. So, I mean, if we just bring back Keita, that's not really that big of a deal. Bring back Keita on a 2-year deal just because it's Keita and I like Keita. Okay, we brought in Derek Fisher and we signed Keita. So this is what the roster is looking like. Magic and Derek Fisher. We got a lot of shooting guards. We got... Oh, Reggie Bullock was already on the team. Okay. I thought he was, but I couldn't remember. Then we got Keita back. We got LeBron. We got Scotty and Giannis. Hopefully Giannis takes over Scotty. I would think that's going to happen. And then we've got the center position that's pretty good. All right. I don't think we need to go into free agency anymore. Some pretty crazy things. So Durant signed with the Spurs. Curry goes back to the Warriors on a 1-year deal, so he'll be back in free agency next season. McGrady goes to the Timberwolves. Duncan to the Wizards. Giddey goes to the Mavericks to replace McGrady. Okay, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's go to player progression. The most important thing of this series is player progression. So we got LeBron dropping. Not good. DeAndre Ayton's a 95. Magic's up 5 to a 92. Kareem's a 90. Anthony Edwards is an 89. Giannis passes Scotty, finally, so he can be the starting power forward again. We are seeing some regression from LeBron James, which makes it a little bit scary, but we'll figure out what happens there. All right. Play progression is very good. Then we can go to the next season, and we can have Keita Bates-Diop get injured in the NBA Summer League. Why is he playing in the Summer League? I don't know. I don't know why he's playing in the Summer League, but he is back. And we got a lot of injuries in the Summer League. What are the guys doing in there? Coach is putting them hard. Coaching game plan. Roster for next season. Magic Johnson, Kobe, LeBron, Giannis, and DeAndre Ayton. So we bring back the squad that won us a championship 4 straight years. Well, these 3 guys, Ayton, LeBron, and Kobe, have won it 4 straight years. Then we got Wade off the bench with Kareem, with Anthony Edwards. Scotty's on the bench, and then Derek Fisher is the backup point guard. So we got point guard / small forward, power forward, and center. And then Thabit, Primo, Bullock, and Bates-Diop off the bench. This team's good. This team's probably going to go for 5 in a row. Let me just take a quick look at the league history. I just want to see it. There it is. That's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And the Eastern Conference, I mean, the West has been dominated by us for 4 straight years. But other than that, the East has been back and forth, dominated by the Nets and the Heat. I mean, the Nets have been really good since they got Rick Barry. But 4 straight seasons of championships. Here's the one where we lost to Chris Paul back in 2034. 4-1. They absolutely... Bob Boozer went crazy in that series, by the way. But 4 straight Laker titles is just amazing to see. And that's going to end the episode here. I know it was a little bit of a longer one, but there was a lot of discussion and a lot of thinking about what to do with some players. So I'm sorry for the little bit of a longer video, but I had to... And plus, there was that whole thing with the draft class at the beginning of the video, so that was a whole 20 minutes probably. But it was a good episode. We won our 4th in a row, so it's always a success when you end up with a championship. We didn't draft anybody, which is probably a first, I think. I don't think I've ever not drafted somebody. But, I mean, I just didn't think that we needed to draft anybody with that draft class. Maybe we should have, because Bill Russell ended up being a 98, so maybe we should have drafted him, but we didn't. And we move on to the next season. Season 20 to 21. Actually, season 21, I should say, because it's episode 21, season 21. is about to be underway next episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Main channel link is down below in the description if you want to go check that out as well. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.